Good evening, how my beautiful queens and hustle kids doing this evening? How you all doing? Welcome back to the start of the vlog. How you all doing? This will actually be kind of like a little chit chat video or girl talk. Um, I would say more of a chit chat. Excuse me, chit chat video. If you see me looking down, I was just writing in this self love book that I've been. I think I was telling you all about a little bit while back that I had purchased from Amazon. I have had this book now for over 4 or 5 years. I have purchased this book right around COVID, during the the lockdown. I'm gonna say it like that. Um, I had got it when I was laid off from work, and y'all know we was all stuck in the house at that time. Some of us, because there was people still working during the time, but majority of a lot of people, they was stuck at home. I just wanted to share this. This was just on my heart because I was trying to come up with some different categories that I want to just really touch base on in this video. And the three topics that I want to the three categories that I'm really going to be discussing more is mental health, goals, and moving on. And I feel like when it comes down to mental health, it's not really addressed enough, especially now in the era we're in now in these times. I know there are so many people, they might not show it or act like they might not show because they so used to always having a smile on their face. But there are a lot of people that you might see smile on a day-to-day basis, but when they get home or behind closed doors, they might shed tears or, just be really going through a lot and you'll never know. I just feel like we was programmed to just always suck it in and if you just continue to keep smiling and deep inside you really hurting and you really going through it, but you don't really have nobody that you can talk to because I know nowadays most people will say, well, I have my own problems and I don't want to hear your problems, and and it's a lot to handle because one thing about me, when someone opened up to me or just want to get something off their chest, I was always a good listener. I never criticize nobody or criticize a situation. Like, I'm always the friend that you can run to. Like, I'm the friend that when somebody needs some advice or they just need a shoulder to lean on, I'm here. I'm there for them. But I noticed in some cases when it came down to me, I don't always usually get that same treatment back. If it was just with someone that I know close or if it was a relative. I have had people told me in the past that um, you let a lot of stuff bother you, and you just you got to learn how to deal with it. And there are some people out there worse than worse situation than you. But see, that's one reason why a lot of people fight silent battles or going through depression because they don't have nobody to talk to. Not everybody can afford to, talk to a therapist or, go to a counselor. And so you just never know how people really feel. You never know the words you can say, how it might affect them. Like today I had to work. I'm just not making it like about maybe a good 30, 40 minutes ago. Um, Today at work I wasn't my best self. Like, I get up, like today I dread getting out of bed. I ain't gonna even tell no story. I dread getting out of bed because I know that it's at the point now in my life that I'm just getting tired of have to be on this survival mode where I'm just every day it's a struggle. I'm working just to get up just to survive, work and survive. I never thought in the years the 41 years God have woke me up and blessed me to see that I would have to be working extremely hard, still barely getting by. Then I go to work, I have to deal with rude people sometimes, rude customers or guests. Now on top of that, you're dealing with employees. Some of them can be could be a little mean or bossy, or everybody want to tell the next person what to do. That's a lot to intake. And then you have to constantly keep showing up. It's the same routine every day, every day, every day. You don't have, you just feel like, life is, you just be like, man, is this how my life going to continue to be? Just working and being on survival mode. And it's hard to really, because I do, most people say, well, if you're a person that believe in the Most High and God gonna make a way. But like I say, everybody have a different relationship with God and a different connection. Like I say, yeah, I know He'll make a way, but sometimes even those that have faith can sometimes still trying to figure it out. Like sometimes, even though you have faith and you're not seeing the results happening right now, you constantly, putting the work in, but you're not seeing it. It will make you, think otherwise. In some cases, like if this going to be, my reality forever, because like I say, it is hard. I'm not gonna sit up here and fake in front. Like I say, it's really hard, because you was taught to do things. If you was you was taught I was taught to do things in this order, like when I my growing up, my childhood: get up, go home, go to school. You gotta go to school, get your education, you gotta get out of here, you gotta get out of this house. But like I say, my growing up, I wasn't like one of the kids that wanted to stay at home. Like I used to love school, don't get me wrong. My I would say my not freshman, when I was in elementary school, those was probably some of my best years. I would say the years that I really struggled more with going to school was between eighth grade and entering high school. So like middle school, entering the high school era was really hard for me. But like me being like in the fourth grade and under, it was those were some of the best years of my life. But me just being told that I need to go to school, get an education, and I will, become successful someday. But looking back, I don't really see, it's like sometimes I'll be like, dang, I do got an education, but my education not really showing all the hard work that I put in, which I know they're going when getting educated, you be rewarded, you go, you have graduation or you receive your diploma or, certificate or whatever. I'm blessed that I made it that far and got those. But it's like looking now as an adult and I'm looking back, like I worked so hard and got an education, but now it's even harder because even now I even have a degree and I still can't work, or I'm not even in the field that I study, and I went to school for 4 years. Like I have a degree and I went to college for 4 years, but it's like I'm not even near in my field or study that I have took up in school. So it made me wonder, was it was a, I ain't gonna say, I'm not gonna consider a waste of I'm not gonna say it was a waste of time, because at that time college was always a dream come true for me. That was something I always really wanted to do, and that was a goal to always, graduate out of college. I thought I was gonna be the first out of, my family to graduate, but I wasn't. But I'm still glad that, I was able to pursue that goal and accomplish it. But it's just I'm looking at how things is now. There's so many people out here got degrees and still, struggling to like really just find a job that's, that'll pay a livable wage for them. And so, it's like it just make you wonder, like, dang, And so that's when I look at it, even with myself, when with the mental health, because like I say, I have been battling and dealing with, depression lately. Like it's hard. I try not to show it. Like even in my videos, I try to always come on camera and I try to be as positive as possible. Because like I said, I have built an amazing community over the last few years since I've been, creating videos. I always wanted to try to, send a positive message to my community, even though I might not be having the best day. I still be wanting to show up and let you all know to continue to stay motivated, positive, never let no one steal your joy. And, like today, the lady, one of the guests, she was so sweet. I kind of got a little teary eyed. I listened to her story, but she's an older lady. It was her and her husband staying at the hotel, and she was just telling me to just have my smile brighten her day up. And even though it was kind of hard for me to smile today because I was so tired, but then again, it's like I be trying to figure out, like, it's hard to get up every single day, go to a job that's barely, you barely getting by, but you trying to hang on and do the best you can, and just, you want to stay encouraged and not, give in. You want to stay, because I know the devil. he's busy, and he does try to. I feel like he always try to attack the strongest. You know, he don't bother the people that's not so strong. It's like he always want to attack the people that's the strongest, the ones that he know is on the right path. So I feel like, you know, he try to find ways to get those people, which is God chosen people. He want to get, you know, us distracted, or some of us, because it's not everybody. But, you know, it be hard. It be hard. And I have to tell myself, like I say, really what been helping me every morning to get up out of bed, because like I say, I be tired. I get in sometimes, I take a shower, go straight to take a nap, you know, or whatever, because I never been this tired. You know, I feel like since I got in my 40s, I'm feeling more tired and more drained than I did when I was in my early 20s and early 30s. But now I'm just still, I'm like I said, I just turned 41 this year, and it's just sad how tired I am. Like my body just feel like sometimes it's just gonna shut down, because that's how tired I'm. It's like I'm constantly on the go, moving, moving, moving like a robot, and I feel like, you know, life shouldn't be like that. Like you got so many people out here that probably choose not to want to, you know, work, or, you know, which is nothing wrong with that. Like, cause I mean, there are some people out there might not, you know, that choose not to, might not want better for themselves, or if they are, they, you know, they doing the best they can. But I have known some people that said that they'll never, you know, work or come back to work, and, you know, but it's just sad when you do have people that still out here trying to work while they're building their goals and trying to work on their own goals on the side, and build a life for themselves outside of they, you know, their job. Because I know you're, you know, I'm not down the 9 to 5 thing. I know I come across a lot of people talk about 9 to 5s, and how job is not worth working no more. And, you know, with me, I try to hold on to something because I know how it is, you know, but I don't allow my job to dictate my future. Like I'm gonna use the job, but I'm also gonna, you know, I'm still working on how I can better my future by, you know, building my own goals or whatever I desire on the side, you know. Um, I don't never want to put all my eggs in one basket, because, like I say, you know, you just never know what might happen with a job, you know, and it's just sad because there's so many people out there down other people for wanting to do better in their life, and want to escape the 9 to 5 reality, you know. And there's nothing wrong with people wanting to work for themselves. And it's just sad that you have a very few that still tell other people that they should continue to just work for somebody else. And I feel like just because you was brought up and you that's your mindset to just continue to work hard for someone else. It's nothing wrong with wanting to take the tools, and, you know, until you do better with your business on the side, or whatever you're trying to do to better your future. When you see that that income is coming in, more income, because I always said, if I ever once my business or goal and I become successful, that's why I'm learning every day now in this era that it's good to have some type of skill. And I know that is true. I see a lot of people talk about it on YouTube about it's good to have a skill or something you enjoy doing. Learning how to, you know, if you online, how to, you know, maybe build, learning how to get into being like a digital, you know, whatever, some in a creator space, where if you're just learning how to be a computer technician, or I'm just using that for example, because I know not everybody might not want to be some type of digital creator, but the way how this economy or how things is set is really showing you that it's nothing wrong with learning something, having a skill online, because I feel like the next few years everything is really going to be going by technology anyway. So I can understand with those that do say it's good to try to learn a skill that's, you know, when it's dealing with the digital space, meaning, you know, you're working on a computer or something. I see why. I know my great grandmother used to always tell me it's good to learn the computer, you know, you should take a computer. And I'm seeing that now, because pretty soon I feel like the next few years everything gonna just be pretty much going by computer. That's what it's from what I'm seeing, you know. Um, but yeah, you just never know what people go through. Also, I feel like what's been helping me when it come down to just mental health in general is I'm big on protecting my peace. So I feel like if something no longer serves me, grow me, or make me happy, I have to either take a step back or I just walk away from it. Um, I even if it's some type of relationship, meaning a friendship or whatever. Like if it was a spouse or something, I just would rather walk away from it. Like I'm not going to let nobody interrupt my peace. I feel like peace is something that is really valuable to me, and I feel like if anything or anyone interrupt my peace, it's time to move on. That's just how I feel. You know, sometimes it hurt because you might care about the person a lot, and especially if you have been around the person for years, if you built a great friendship, or if it's a relationship, like if with a man or whatever. And I know I might have a few men watch my channel, and for the men, with a woman, um, it's hard, but I would rather choose my peace over being around somebody that's going to interrupt it. So if I feel like you're going to interrupt my peace, it's time to move on. I like joy, even though, like I say, everything might not always go peaches and cream with me, but I still like to find some type of joy out of every little situation or every little day or that I'm having. Um, I like to go to the park. There's one way to protect my peace. But lately, we just been a lot of rain here, and like today, it look like it want to rain, but it's real humid outside. I normally like to go to the park, protect my peace. My plants, they give me a peace of mind. So I feel like with those, they really do help with my mental health. Um, Goals, far as goals, I'm trying to put it all because I don't want to make this video too long. Goals, when I say goals, whatever it is you want to do in life, I say sometimes it's best to be quiet or don't. I'm gonna say this. I remember I wrote a poem a couple years ago. I remember this quote out of the poem. Be careful who you tell your secrets to, because everybody's not rooting for you. And so when I mean by that, sometimes you be wanting people to be happy for you, and you might tell them, hey, I just started my new business and I'm about to open up a new boutique. I just opened up a new art gallery. You want to check it out? I'm gonna have a grand opening. I'm just using this for example. Um, Not everybody gonna always be happy for you. If a person still have that mindset that they was taught to just constantly work for someone else, they definitely will never understand. So my thing is, when it's something you want to do out of life, it's best to keep it to yourself. And I'm seeing that now, and I'm learning that now, that sometimes you can't overshare certain goals or whatever vision, desires you have for yourself. Sometimes it's just best to keep it to yourself. Now, there might be some people that will be cheering you on and rooting for you, but there's some that don't want to see you make it. Like if they've been knowing you for years and knowing that nothing really probably just ever really prosper for you at that time, they don't really see you accomplishing this particular milestone in your life. So I just encourage anybody, and the reason why I said that because I have opened up one time to someone, and especially even on the job. I'm gonna say this too: when you go on the jobs, it's sometimes it's best to not, you don't want to overshare things with coworkers and stuff on jobs, because not like I say, coworkers, they just coworkers, they really not your friends. But you just have to be okay, just kind of be cautious of what you tell people, because like I say, not everybody going to be happy for you, and that's okay. And then sometimes it can be those that been knowing you for years, even your relatives. Not everybody not going to understand your goals and that you desire to accomplish, or whatever skills and talents you have. Not everybody going to understand that. And so I feel like when you're doing something that you're not used to doing, and somebody either find out, that's the same way like on my YouTube channel, for instance. Like I didn't tell anybody about my YouTube channel, no relatives or nothing. I always said if somebody wanted to know, I always said that if anybody ever find out about my YouTube channel, it'll be through maybe YouTube recommending my channel to the person. But like I say, it's, I don't know, when I first started my channel, I was worried about, out of fear, how other people might view me, whether if there was, relatives or friends, or, just people in the world. But I had to look at it and think about it. Hey, people gonna judge, or they're gonna talk about you either way it go, when you're doing good or bad. And so my thing is, you have to do what makes you happy. And so I had, like I said, when I first started my channel, I stepped out on faith and did it. Like I say, YouTube was always something that I had wanted to do. I think what really I got inspired, mostly a lot of the creators that I follow today, inspired me to go and, try it myself. Like I say, I look at it as a personal diary for me. Um, and I look at it as me creating memories for myself, because sometimes I go back and rewatch older videos of how far I have came, in life. So I just feel like when you're not used to doing something and God called a place of some on your heart to pursue, you're gonna have to get out your comfort zone. That's another thing I'm learning too. Sometimes we let fear stop us from going after our talents or goals. And so I feel like you have to be okay and just step out on faith and just know that it's gonna work out. And if it don't go work out as fast as you, I mean, I ain't gonna say as fast. If it don't work out right away, just keep, trying and keep putting to the work until you succeed at it. Because, I might not be where I want to be right now, but I thank God I'm not where I used to be. So that's one of my favorite quotes, is that I have had so many people on this platform over the years have told me I inspired them. And, a lot of people watch my videos tell me, to keep going. And, a lot of you all call me sis. And, I'm blessed and I'm amazed. Like I say,